I want your calls on this. Is it right to put ankle tags on shoplifters? Let us know your thoughts. 0207 862 2222, particularly if you're a shop owner, perhaps. Let us know what you think. Now, Sussex Police have been saying that they're going to become the first force in the country to fit ankle tags to shoplifters, with the first tag being put on a woman who pleaded guilty to 12 charges. Now, the tags use GPS technology to track the offenders, and it sends an alert to shop owners if they enter a banned area, which can be a particular store which they've targeted before, or an entire street or a town. And there could be 5 years in jail just for going into that restricted area. Now, police chiefs say that it could be a game changer when it comes to tackling shoplifting, which is at a record high, of course, at the moment. But is it a right way to fight crime? Is it too harsh on people stealing out of necessity, perhaps? Maybe you feel uncomfortable with the idea of police tracking people full stop. Narinder, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm not a huge fan, I have to say. Of course, we need to tackle the rise in shoplifting, but I think we're in danger of criminalising poverty. Why are people stealing? How expensive is it to put these electronic tags on people? And also the stigma of someone who's maybe stolen out of sheer need, to feed their family, and suddenly they've got a tag on them. It's not tackling root causes. We're very good. Those tags are often used for serious crimes. Now, if someone's repeatedly stealing something or shoplifted, I don't think it's proportionate to say, right, you're getting a tag on your ankle, and the whole of society can say you're a criminal. We're not looking at these people are poor. Do you know how expensive food is these days? Why are they stealing? They haven't got enough money.
But surely you're not saying that all shoplifters are stealing because of necessity. I mean, some repeat offenders we know have been caught stealing and selling on the products that's part of criminal gangs. We know that. So yes, perhaps for those people...
I think for those, that's more proportionate. But the danger here is, and even for those, it's such an expensive scheme. As soon as that tag's off, they repeat again. It's not actually helping anyone. It's not solving shoplifting.
I want to come to Mike in a second, but I know what you mean about cost, but is the cost going to be more than keeping these people in prisons to keep them out of the shops? Mike, what are your thoughts?
Well, look at the figures, right? 29,000 prolific criminals. So they're not people who are looking to nick a packet of ham for their children. Prolific criminals cost £5 billion a year in crime. That's enormous. They commit 130,000 crimes a year. Now, Narinder, you're not a naive person. I know that. I've worked with extensively over the years. But honestly, you're not thinking straight if you're saying, oh, poor old woman's got to go into the co-op, which has been a huge victim of shoplifting, and nick a packet of butter and nick a bottle of milk because she can't afford it. We know we're not talking about those people. We're talking about highly organised gangs. We just showed some clips before this story started of all these gangsters climbing over the counter, stealing all the bottles of vodka, putting them into big containers.
But I think a prison sentence...
And what we've got to do is we've got to start treating shoplifting as a serious crime, because do-gooders, and you're trying to assume that role this morning, if you don't mind me saying, are trying to say it's a victimless crime. Nobody gets hurt and nobody loses.
I'm saying
£5 billion a year.
And how much does
put them in jail?
You know, the scheme has been proven in Britain before. They've done a report on it that it's actually failed to deter anyway. It doesn't deter anyone. It's cost too much.
Because they don't go to jail.
Right, so put them in jail.
Exactly.
Don't put the tagging. How much is the electronic tagging costing?
Well,
how much is it going to cost?
Is it going to cost
not £5 billion quid? Not £5 billion quid.
Is it going to cost as much as keeping someone in prison? And we know, because we've had these discussions on the show many times before, we know how short we are on available prison spaces. So if you're going to have to take up a prison space because of someone's shoplifting, it is surely going to be cheaper to fit them with a tag and alert shopkeepers if they're in the vicinity.
But Alexis, I think that you're just, honestly, there's a stigmatisation on poor people, and that's what we do. We're punishing even gangs. It's not rehabilitating anyone. Look at people like Michelle Mone. She gets away with it. Crime pays. She gets away with it. Nothing happens. But let's get a poor person.
It's not a fair comparison.
Well, look, but you're comparing to gangs.
I'm not sure if the comparison's fair or not, but they are separate cases. But Narinder, what about the point that we know that 10% of offenders are estimated to be responsible for up to 70% of the shoplifting crime? We're not talking about the people that Mike said, maybe find themselves on that particular day of the week or that day of the month short on cash and desperate to put food on the table. We're not really talking about that.
Yeah.
We're talking
gangs.
about
but you've ignored the gangs.
persistent offenders.
So the gangs, they're sending out younger kids out there to go and steal for them. So you're punishing still the wrong people. And the problem is poverty in our society.
You're not. If you're recruited by a gang to go shoplifting, you are a criminal. I'm sorry. It's over all saying, oh, young kids, naive and all that. The real answer is put policemen back on the streets. Because if a young shoplifter who is shoplifting to order is rushing out of a shop with £500 worth of goods and he knows there's a policeman standing there on the pavement, he won't do it. Bring back more policemen on the
briefly,
streets.
Narinder, I want to go to the
So
courts.
the tax comes off, then they're going to go back to it again. It solved nothing.
OK, Marie is in Portsmouth. Marie, welcome to the show. Good morning. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are the tags will do no good.
Why not?
Because we live in a technology age where the tags won't work properly anymore. What we need to be doing is making sure that parents are doing their jobs properly with their children and making sure that children are living in good environmental homes.
Yeah. I mean, look,
what we
Marie,
need to start
Marie, you're
looking
doing
at.
the right thing in saying, look, rather than actually dealing with the consequences of the problem, let's not get there in the first place. And you're absolutely right. But do you think that shopkeepers, for example, I mean, it's going to be hugely beneficial to them if they know that someone who is a prolific shoplifter is in the vicinity? Because, as Mike said, and Narinder both agree, this isn't a victimless crime. We're talking about businesses being stripped of their assets.
What I'm trying to say is it's very simple. We live in a technology world where tags now can be blocked. So even if they're going to go into shops, they could block the tags off.
I'm not quite sure how easy that is.
Sorry, Marie, the tags in this case are not the same as tags that criminals wear because they've been confined to their house and the police know they've left the house. This is to alert shopkeepers, to alert shopping areas that a known thief is on the way. They can prepare themselves against it. That's what the tags are for here, to be preventive.
Live like that. Shopkeepers live like that every single day without having notification on it. They live in a world now where they know they're going to get robbed. And
by looking at the person. We have a shop in Newcastle. We know, he's coming. We know we know who he is.
Absolutely.
But they don't need to be stigmatised with electronic. And what if that
stigmatise a thief?
How about somebody? No, but you're saying criminal gangs. You don't know. Like, let's say the little old lady or the mum or the dad. They might be put into that category, and they've suddenly got a tag on them. It's horrible.
There are very few little old ladies who go out shoplifting. I know because my mum was one, and they wouldn't dream of shoplifting.
No, mum or dad.
They have huge standards.
I think Marie made a really important point, two really important points. Marie, thank you for kicking us off. One, we need to prevent getting to that place in the first place. Why have we seen this huge 20% increase in shoplifting?
Because they can do it.
And two, Marie described very well that shopkeepers, I think, are not waiting for a GPS tag to pin. They're on the lookout at all times.
But if they get an alert in advance, they can bring out the old baseball bat and be prepared.
I hope that's exactly what they're not doing, Mike.
What I'm saying is they've got to be prepared to defend what's theirs. Do you know how much money
they should do that by sticking to the law and perhaps asking for assistance from police, not reliant on baseball bats.
No. It would be a lawful use of the baseball bat.
Of course.
Don't worry about that.
Holly's in London. Holly, good morning. What would you like to say?
I do agree with the tagging, unfortunately. I also live in a very poverty area. So there's a lot of people like that around where I live. I've also a mum of 6. So, if I went out and stole because I had no money, I would be quite proud of wearing a tag. I'd be like, I've done it because of my children, but I would never get to that stage. I do think shopkeepers, they need to know when people come in. And also, as all of you are sitting there working and all getting paid, your taxes are all going up and up and up. And that's because of insurance claims and everyday claims. The shopkeepers are just taking and just doing what they want to do. So I think, actually, look on the other side, you're going to benefit if they know that people come in.
Sorry, say that again. We're going to benefit if what?
If people are coming, if people know that people are coming, they can stop people shoplifting. then people will benefit because taxes will then start going down because people ain't going to be able to...
Holly's absolutely right. You know that the retail industry estimate that 2 or 3% of what they have to put on their prices is through theft of their goods not being paid for. So it affects us all.
Yes, but there's obviously a problem in society.
Of course
because
there
we've
is.
got a cost of living.
Got too many thieves and not enough policemen.
No, because people... Why has theft increased? Because people can't afford to live. They're not able to afford to pay bills and buy... They can't. Do you know how much a jar of coffee, a pint of milk and just basic goods?
Do you know how many bottles of vodka are stolen? Vodka is not necessarily, something you need in life, essentially.
That's just whataboutery.
Holly, thank you. Ross is in Glasgow. Ross, welcome to the show. What are your thoughts? Would you support this trial of fitting at least repeat offenders with GPS tags?
Absolutely. Definitely. I've worked in retail for 30 years. Now, I'm assuming none of your guests have ever actually worked in a shop and faced theft.
I've come from a corner shop for 40 years.
Right. Well, I worked for a large electrical company who people steal laptops, etc. And like the other gentleman said, that wasn't to live. You don't eat a laptop. You sell it.
But Ross, the points that were made before, aren't those kind of stores on the lookout anyway? I mean, most laptops are chained down or at least there's those measures. What advantage are you going to get if, for example, an alarm goes off saying, well, a known shoplifter has just entered your shop? How will that change the way you do business?
You should shut the door.
Well, it will heighten awareness to the people in the shop, the colleagues. They'll know somebody's there. It can be a busy environment, and these people will take advantage of a busy environment, and they could stand there for 5-10 minutes releasing a laptop. And because of the way things are, there's less colleagues in the shops now to police these things. If that went off at the door, that tells you immediately there's a thief within your store.
Excellent.
Ross, thank you. Let's squeeze Naomi in. He's waiting to speak to us in London. Naomi, good morning. What are your thoughts? Would you support this?
No. I think there's a big difference between somebody stealing a sandwich or somebody that's stealing daily multiple goods to sell to feed their addictions.
Yeah.
I think more help is needed to sort out the addictions and why they steal rather than to tag them because they will find another way to get the money to feed the addiction. So,
I think, Naomi, you're right. And one would hope that Sussex Police are going to make that distinction between someone who's been caught perhaps for the first time stealing food and the people that Mike's referring to who are just shoving bottles of vodka into a big bag and running out of the store. And I think you would support that, Narinder, as well, that distinction between the two.
There would have to be a distinction, but do you trust the system to make that distinction? And then you've got some mum who's walking around with a tag on her ankle or whatever. It's horrible. I
was in Sainsbury's last Saturday. I wanted fillet of beef. And it's so inconvenient to try and buy it because it's all tagged up. You know what I mean?
But don't you feel sorry that we've got such a problem of poverty in our society?
No,
yes, we do.
We haven't. We've got a problem of criminality.
They're turning to criminality. They're turning to criminality because they can't afford to live.
Because they don't get punished, unfortunately. We don't punish shoplifters.
So let's punish
because
poverty.
People like you think it's a victimless crime. And
but how would you punish shoplifters? Just put people in prison?
Yes, definitely.
But we don't have enough prison space.
Build more prisons.
Right. OK. All right. OK. Thank you. I think we sorted that.